Napoleon Bonaparte, a name that echoes through history as a symbol of ambition, strategy, and power. From a modest Corsican upbringing to Emperor of the French, his life was marked by breathtaking victories, shocking defeats, and a relentless pursuit of glory. Today we're diving deep into the extraordinary life of Napoleon, a man who shaped Europe and left a legacy that still fascinates the world. Napoleon Bonaparte was born on August 15, 1769 in Ajaccio, Corsica. At that time, Corsica had just been transferred from Genoese to French control, a change that would deeply influence Napoleon's identity. He was born into a relatively modest noble family. His parents, Carlo and Letizia Bonaparte, had ambitions for their children despite limited wealth. As a young boy, Napoleon was sent to mainland France for education, attending military school in Brienne-le-Château. There, he stood out not just for his intelligence and discipline, but also for his fiery temper and sharp tongue. Although he was often mocked for his Corsican accent and small stature, Napoleon developed a reputation as a brilliant mathematician and strategist. After graduating from the École Militaire in Paris in 1785, Napoleon was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the French artillery. At first, his career seemed unremarkable, but the outbreak of the French Revolution in 1789 changed everything. France was in chaos, and opportunities for ambitious young officers were abundant. Napoleon quickly rose through the ranks due to his tactical brilliance and fearlessness in battle. In 1793, during the siege of Toulon, he distinguished himself by devising a strategy that recaptured the city from royalist forces backed by the British. This victory earned him the rank of brigadier general at just 24 years old, a meteoric rise fueled by both skill and circumstance. Napoleon was also a master of propaganda. He ensured his victories were widely publicized, understanding that reputation and perception could be as powerful as actual battlefield success. In 1796, Napoleon took command of the French army in Italy, a position that would cement his reputation as a military genius. Facing better-equipped Austrian and Sardinian forces, he employed innovative strategies, moving troops quickly and using the terrain to his advantage. His victories at battles like Lodi and Arcole were not just tactical successes, they were psychological triumphs. Napoleon inspired loyalty in his troops with bold leadership and shared hardships. By the end of the campaign, he had not only defeated powerful enemies, but also secured French dominance in northern Italy, a feat that made him a national hero in France. In 1798, Napoleon embarked on a daring expedition to Egypt. His goal was to undermine British trade routes to India and expand French influence in the East. The campaign was a mixture of remarkable discoveries and strategic challenges. Napoleon's forces achieved a famous victory at the Battle of the Pyramids, but his navy suffered a devastating defeat at the Battle of the Nile, leaving him stranded in Egypt. Despite the setbacks, the campaign left a lasting mark, from the discovery of the Rosetta Stone to significant contributions to Egyptology, showing that Napoleon's ambition extended beyond mere conquest. Meanwhile, back in France, political instability created the perfect storm for Napoleon's return. In 1799, he staged a coup d'état known as the 18 Brumaire, overthrowing the Directory and establishing the consulate. As first consul, Napoleon wielded extraordinary power, effectively controlling the French government. He implemented sweeping reforms, reorganizing the legal system with the Napoleonic Code, reforming education, centralizing administration, and stabilizing the economy. These reforms not only consolidated his power, but also left a lasting imprint on France and much of Europe. In 1804, Napoleon crowned himself Emperor of the French in a ceremony at Notre Dame Cathedral, signaling his absolute authority. Unlike traditional monarchs, he placed the crown on his own head, a symbolic act of self-made power. As emperor, Napoleon pursued aggressive expansion across Europe. Through a series of campaigns known collectively as the Napoleonic Wars, he defeated coalitions of European powers with a combination of speed, strategy, and psychological warfare. Victories at Austerlitz in 1805 and Jena Auerstedt in 1806 showcased his tactical brilliance and secured his reputation as one of history's greatest military commanders. However, Napoleon's ambition eventually sowed the seeds of his downfall. The disastrous invasion of Russia in 1812 marked a turning point, facing the brutal Russian winter, scorched earth tactics, and logistical nightmares. Napoleon's Grande Armée suffered catastrophic losses, losing more than 500,000 men. This defeat emboldened his enemies across Europe. In 1813, at the Battle of Leipzig, Napoleon faced a decisive defeat against the Sixth Coalition, leading to his retreat into France. His empire, once seemingly invincible, began to crumble. In 1814, Napoleon was forced to abdicate and was exiled to the tiny island of Elba. But his story didn't end there. Just a year later, he escaped and returned to France in a dramatic comeback known as the 100 Days. Crowds welcomed him as a hero, and he quickly regained control of the army. Yet this resurgence would be short-lived. In 1815, at the Battle of Waterloo, Napoleon faced the British and Prussian forces under Wellington and Blücher. Despite his brilliance, he was decisively defeated, ending his rule and ambitions once and for all. After Waterloo, Napoleon was exiled to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic, where he spent his final years under British supervision. He died in 1821 at the age of 51, leaving behind a legacy as both a revolutionary hero and a tyrannical conqueror. Napoleon's impact on Europe was profound. He reshaped borders, modernized legal systems, and inspired both admiration and fear. Even today, the name Napoleon evokes images of ambition, strategy, and the complex nature of power. Napoleon Bonaparte was a man of contrasts, a visionary leader, ruthless strategist, and an ambitious ruler whose decisions changed the course of history. His life reminds us of the heights of human achievement and the perils of overreaching ambition. From Corsica to St. Helena, Napoleon's story is a timeless tale of power, glory, and the human desire to leave a mark on the world. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Napoleon, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more historical journeys.